I was just getting out of a 10-year narcissistic relationship. And it's not like trying to get over a normal relationship with someone who is healthy. I always say I was COVID single. We were forced to quarantine and hunker down and be around each other for 24 hours a day. And it's something that I had never done before with this person. So you'd really get to know one another. And things just started really going bad, worse than anything I ever thought, even though our relationship had always been tumultuous in the past. And I had always figured it's toxic, it gets a little unhealthy, but never in a million years would I have found myself calling it abuse. When I met David and Stephanie, I just felt like I was like walking out of the twilight zone, just going, what the fuck just happened? And you're trying to make sense of things that don't even make sense. And honestly, I had no idea what to do or where to go or how to start or anything. I was just like, something has to change. But I just didn't know how to get out. And I was so defeated that I just didn't really have the fight in me anymore to get like the authorities involved or to get family involved or to even like really seek out any type of help. Because I was just so up to here with all the drama and just completely emotionally, mentally just exhausted. So I was well willing to do anything in my power to empower myself to get the tools to do the healing, to do the ugly work, to do the hard work. And you know what, people? To take the accountability because we can't sit there and blame everything on the person who did us wrong. You have to sit there and own your shit and understand I allowed these things to happen. If it wasn't for me meeting Stephanie and David and Stephanie sharing her story with her workbook and all of that, then maybe I wouldn't be here. But it was that hope that, okay, I saw so much of me in her story and her personal story. And I was like, she's been through it. She knows what this is about. She knows what she's talking about. And that made all the difference for me because, yeah, there was a lot of different life coaches, but for me, it was very important that I connected with someone who understood my situation, which was narcissistic relationships and abuse. And that's how I ended up here. I really resonated with her because you sit there and you think, it's like, how the, how, how did I allow that in my life? I became this person that I did not recognize. And I had to do a lot of soul searching and forgive myself for the person who I became when I was in survival mode. I think the biggest result is honestly healing that inner child. Like I said, issues that you don't even know that you had. And you don't know that you have them until you start working through the units and that the way that the units are formatted and the questions that the units ask you. When you work through those units, it's some heavy, tough pills to swallow. But you have to get honest with yourself or else nothing's going to change. Because of this program, me and my mom have been able to get to a place where we can have an open dialogue. And so I think it's helped our relationship a lot better and thinking back to our session, I get really emotional because it was very powerful. During the Psych Cave session, I remember I cried for so long, and it was this primitive, primal, gut wrenching, howling, wailing, ugly crying. But you know what? That's what my soul needed because sometimes you can't even verbalize what you feel. But after the psych cake session with David, I went and it was the first time I had spoke to my mom. And it was the first time I had even hugged her in such a long and I just told her, Mom, I just need you to hug me. And we both cried. And it was a beautiful moment. Going through this course and everything, that I'm gonna stay on this path. I'm gonna continue to do the work. And the beauty of this work is that you can download the material and you can have it and you can go back and do it as many times as you need to get over those hurdles. I'm working on me and I'm enjoying my life and trying to discover who I am. I refuse to settle for anything less than what I deserve ever again. And it's all thanks to this program. It's important to do the work, no matter how painful it is. And you have to be honest with yourself. But then also, what I learned, like from my sessions with David, was to allow myself to feel my feelings. And I get these beautiful compliments all the time. And I just have to turn around and just thank the universe, thank creator, thank God, thank whoever it was that somehow aligned my life to come in contact with Stephanie and David and this program. I tried to do a lot of stuff on my own, a lot of healing on my own, read all the help books. I wasn't therapy for a while for anxiety and depression, but we didn't touch about the core things like, why am I like that? It was just like,
Mhm.
oh, you're stinking thinking. It
But
ain't stinking thinking. It's a root issue. It's a soul issue, is what it is. It's a
mhm,
heart issue. And it's really uprooting those things. But you have to be willing to be vulnerable and to
mhm.
be truthful with yourself.
That's
And
fair.
because if you lie, it's not gonna work. And Stephanie and David aren't here to press judgment, but they will hold you accountable. And sometimes you might not like the way that they say because they don't sit there and freaking sugarcoat it. But come on, and they're running a business and they're dealing with a bunch of people. They can't sit there and tiptoe over your feelings. So they're gonna come to you straight. So you gotta know how to be like, "You hurt my feelings." No, because they want you to succeed. So that's one
Mhm.
thing you have to understand too. They're not here to coddle anybody. They might sympathize, but it's not coddling. If you ready to do the work, strap on your boots and roll up your sleeves and get in there. I'm so good not being in a relationship. Honestly, right now where I'm at, I'm having so much fun in my life, meeting so many interesting people, having amazing experiences that I never thought in a million years that I would have. And I see David and Stephanie, and I was like, they are an example that it's possible. So if it was possible for them when they sat there and did the work, then I know it's also possible for me, and that there has to be healthy people out there. But one thing, it's like I will never settle for anything less than what I am worthy of. Even if it means that I will be single for the rest of my life, because you know what? I love my life and it's all gravy. So many people that I know have messaged me and have thanked me. Thank you for sharing your story, like this and that. And I refer them to Stephanie and David all the time. Look, this is why I'm how I am now. This is what worked for me. And I'm just so indebted and forever grateful that I was able to be a part of your program, and what a difference it's made in my life.